let us have a look at what are the different functions which are being performed in an HR department or are part of human resource management. Now, when we spoke about human resource management, we said human resource management refers to managing people in an organization. The manpower who's available, who's working with you in the organization has to be managed, whereby the goals of both the organization and the individuals who are working in your organization are met. Now, if we look at the term human resource management, we all can see that it is comprising of three different words. First is human, second is resource, and the third one is management, whereby human refers to the skilled workforce which is available in the organization. That is, all the skills related to manpower which will be utilized by the management or by the organization. Now, in the previous classes, we had seen what are the skills which are available or which an individual possesses. We had seen skills like technical skills, conceptual skills, interpersonal skills. So that is the first part of definition of human. Now, in human resource management, the second word is resource. Now, what is meant by resource? So resource again means something which can be used. All right. But when we talk of human resources, now the availability of skilled human resources is limited. Okay, it is scarce. So what resource refers to in case of human resource management is limited availability of the humans. And finally, management. We all are students of management, and we very well know the definition of management is how to optimize or how to make optimum use of human resources in order to meet the organizational goals and objectives. So what that is what human resource refers to. And therefore we can say that human resource management is meant for proper utilization of available skilled workforce and also to make efficient use of this human resource which is existing in the organization. All right. Now, in the present scenario, what is being said? Many of the experts they are saying that machines and technology are replacing human resources. If you talk of any industry, if you talk of any sector, healthcare sector, you talk of education sector, you talk of aviation sector, talk of any sector, what is happening in all these sectors? Technology is replacing humans and minimizing the role of humans. But what is being said by the experts is machines and technology are built by humans, right? Only humans can be operating on this machinery or technology. Or even if the monitoring of these machines or technology is required, then who is going to monitor or operate these machinery is again humans. So it is not possible that humans or their talent or their skills can be replaced by the machinery. Humans will always be a crucial asset for any organization, although many of the tasks in the organizations are being said to be replaced by this machinery or artificial intelligence. But not to forget, as I said, that who is going to operate on this machinery or who is going to monitor this machinery or even artificial intelligence, who's going to create it? It is the humans. So replacement of humans is not possible. Now, having understood that, now let us have a look at what are the different functions that are being performed for human resource management or in the department of human resources. Now, these functions have been classified into two. The first function of HRM is called as managerial function, and the second category of functions is called as operator functions. Now, as the name says, managerial functions refers to all the functions of management which has to be performed by a HR manager. Now, when we had studied the subject of management or principles of management, we studied that the different functions which a manager needs to be performed as part of management is planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. In the similar manner, a HR manager has to also perform all these functions of management: planning of the human resources, organizing of the human resources, directing of the human resources, and controlling of the human resources in the organization. Now, when I say planning, what do you mean by planning? What do you understand by the term planning? Can one of you unmute yourself and just tell me what do you understand by planning? It's a simple function of management. Even you and I, on a daily basis, do planning. While we are sitting at home, while we are planning to go for college or office, what are we doing? We are planning, right? So, what do you mean by planning?
Ma'am, it is a
Yes,
to
yes,
process to achieve the goals. Like the organization sets a goal, so in order to achieve
very
that,
good.
planning is being done.
Absolutely, very nicely said by you. So, what is planning? Planning is basically, initially we have to set a goal. What goal or what objective are we going to achieve? And in order to meet that goal or objective, what are we doing? We are thinking about all those activities that we will be performing in order to achieve that desired goal, right? So that is what is planning. Okay, forecasting of all the activities that we need to perform in order to achieve the goal that we have set for our organization. Okay, so before the action takes place, what do we need to do? We need to set certain plans for ourselves, and this involves logical thinking and rational decision making. Now, if we are planning of, say, diversification in our organization, we are going to diversify into a new line of business, then what do we need to do? We need to plan how many human resources do we have available in our organization who could be transferred to this new line of business. What is the gap of human resources that we need to identify as a part of our planning? All right, and then what do we need to do? We need to conduct recruitment, okay, in order to meet that gap, selection process, and so on. So all this setting up a goal and then forecasting that how many employees do you need in order to meet the goal that you have set is part of your planning process. So that is the first and the basic function that is being performed by each and every HR manager in an organization, that is planning of the human resources in order to meet the future goal or objective which has been set forward by the management in the organization. Now, having covered planning, then the next step in the function of HR manager is organizing. Now, what do we mean by organizing? Can again one of you unmute yourself and just tell me, as a manager, if you're working in an organization, then what do you need to do as a part of organizing function?
Organizing would be like allocating different tasks to different people and making sure they do what tasks you have allocated.
Absolutely. Very rightly again said. Once a plan has been created, then the next task for HR manager is to begin to organize the work. Organizing refers to assigning the task for each and every person available in the organization, grouping together the people with the same specialization into a single department. Now, people who all are having the specialization related to HR will be put into HR department. The people whom you might have recruited as a part of planning, who might be having the skill related to, say, marketing, they all would be put into the marketing department, and you are assigning a task to each of them to perform. So that is what is organizing, whereby the tasks are being assigned to each and every person in the organization. Then similar people with similar specializations are put into different department, which means grouping the task into departments. And then what do? You delegate authority to the people. Who is going to be the supervisor? Who is going to report to whom? Okay. And finally, allocating of the resources across the organization is again the task of HR manager as a part of organizing function. All this is decided by your HR manager, and all this is part of your organizing function in the organization. All right, then coordinating all the activities of the employees, coordinating all the activities of allocation of the resources, the procedures to facilitate the goals which were identified in the plan is all performed during the organizing function by your HR manager. All right. So, as I guess one of the students correctly said, organizing involves division of labor. Okay, now this was one of the principles also, if you remember, of management. That during division of labor, what are we doing? We are dividing the entire job is being divided into different tasks, and the person who is specialized in the task is being asked to perform that task. So that is what is division of labor, which is again one of the components of your organizing function. Now, once the organizing function has been performed by your HR manager, the third function of management that needs to be performed is called directing. Now, as the name says, directing means giving direction to the people who are working in your organization. It is said to be a process in which managers, your HR manager, is giving instructions to the people, guiding the giving guidance to the people working in your organization, and then overseeing the performance of each and every worker in the organization to ensure that the goals which were set for each and every person in the organization, that is the target which was given to each and every person in the organization, the task which was allocated to each and every employee working in the organization is being performed as per the directions given to him, motivating them by giving them rewards from time to time. All right, that is why what is being said, directing is also a pervasive function, which means not only HR manager has to perform the role of motivating the human resources in the organization or directing or leading the people in the organization, but each and every manager available in an organization, talk of marketing manager, talk of operations manager, talk of systems manager, each and every one has to perform the role of a leader and has to lead their people in the organization. All right. And directing function is always considered to be a human factor, because what are you doing? You are directing the manpower in the organization. And finally, after directing function, the final function of a manager or a human resource manager in an organization is controlling. Now, what is controlling? Controlling is yet another function of management which ensures that every person in the organization is performing as per the target which was set for them in planning function. Okay, so controlling function is helping in ensuring the progress of the people towards the target which was set for them, or towards the goal which was set for them. All right, so controlling function helps in coordination and also it helps in planning. So what is happening in controlling function is basically a standard is being set for each and every person in the organization. And then from time to time we are reviewing that whether people are reaching their target as per the standard which was set for them or not. Are there any deviations? If there are any deviations, then what corrective actions should be taken by the HR manager in order to ensure that the target which has been set by the for the employees in the organization are met as per the standard and as per the deadline which has been given to each and every employee in the organization. That is the function of controlling the progress of people in the organization. So, planning, organizing, directing, and controlling are all the functions that are to be performed by a HR manager and are part of your managerial functions. Having understood that, now let us have a look at what are the operative functions of HR manager, or what are the operating functions which are to be performed as a part of human resource management. Now, as you can see in the slide, operative functions are further categorized or classified into five. Number one, procurement function, then development, then compensation function, then integration function, and maintenance function. Now, if you remember, When we were studying the definition of human resource management, the first definition of human resource management, which I had given you, said human resource management is a process of 5 steps which starts with procurement, moves on to development, then compensation, integration, and maintenance. Right? So, all these five are also considered to be operative functions of HR manager. Now, the operative functions of HR manager or HRM, now all these are related to certain specific activities which are part of your human resource management. Okay, now what are the activities which are part of your human resource management? Procuring of the human resources, that is acquiring of the human resources, then developing them, okay, or training them, then compensation, deciding on what wages, what salary, what bonuses, what incentives need to be given to them, then ensuring harmonious relation between the employees and the employer through the integration function, and finally maintain taking care of your employees by looking at the maintenance function, which talks about taking care of the welfare benefits, taking care of health safety of all the employees in the organization. Now, let us have a look at each one of these functions of operative functions of HR manager. The first one talks about procurement. Now, as I had said in the last class, procurement basically refers to employment, all right, whereby we are employing the people in the organization. And procurement starts with job analysis, moving on to HR planning, recruitment, their selection, their placement, their induction and orientation, and then their internal mobility within the organization, which can be transfer, promotion, separation, or even demotion. Now, what is job analysis? Let us have a look at each one of the sub functions of procurement. Now, I said previously also we had spoken about what is job analysis. We said job analysis refers to the process of studying and collection of all the information related to the activities that will be performed at a particular job role or at a particular position. That is all the tasks, all the duties, all the responsibilities that would be performed in a particular position is called job analysis, right? And the outcome that we get out of job analysis is your job description and job specification, whereby job description refers to all the activities which are describing the job. That is the tasks that you will have to perform, the duties that you will have to perform, then whom are you going to report as a part of this job? Who will be your immediate supervisor? All this information is collected and put into your job description. And as a part of job specification, what is being included is what are the skills that are required to perform this job, what are the qualifications that are required to perform this job, what is the experience, level of experience, years of experience that we need in order to perform this particular job in this position. And once your job description and job specification is ready, the task of job analysis comes to an end. Then comes human resource planning. Now, what is human resource planning? It is a process of identifying and assuring that the organization will have adequate number of qualified people available at proper times at proper positions in order to meet the needs and goals of the organization. That is what is referred to as human resource planning. So human resource planning refers also to estimation. Okay, what are you doing? You are estimating present requirement of the human resources and the future requirement which would be required in the organization based on the goal that you have set for the organization, and then calculating the gap between the demand and supply, and thereby taking the steps in order to ensure that the gap can be fulfilled. And how will this gap be fulfilled? By carrying out the process of recruitment. So what is recruitment? Recruitment again is process of searching for potential candidates to apply for jobs in the organization, whereby you also have to identify from which source are we going to recruit or hire the people in our organization. Are we going to use the method of internal recruitment, or we are going to use the method of external recruitment? Okay, internal sources of recruitment refers to people who are already working in your organization. Now, many of the organizations have this policy whereby want or they don't wish to hire people from outside. What do they do? They only pick the people who are already available with them in the organization and put them into the positions which fall vacant in the organization. This is called internal source of recruitment. The next method, which is the external source of recruitment, in that what are we doing? We are hiring the people from outside the organization. Now, these could be people who are already working in some other organizations, or we can conduct campus placements and get the people hired in our organization, or we can get the people from employment exchanges, etc. So there are different ways of, hiring people from external source of recruitment. Now, that is again one of the decisions of HR manager, that from which source are you going to hire people in your organization, from internal source or from external source. All right, next task is to go for selection. Now, the meaning of selection is calling people in your organization for holding interviews for them or for conducting the process of selection. Now, the process of selection involves giving an application blank to the people or giving an application form to the people, asking them to fill it, then conducting a preliminary interview for them, thereby conducting employment test for them. That is, like aptitude test or personality test. There are different kind of tests that which are available as a part of your selection process. So once these employment tests are being conducted, and thereby the decision of hiring or rejecting the candidates will be taken. Okay, during that time, there will be also a checking of references. Now, the references which you have given, if they speak positively about you, then the decision of hiring and rejection, final decision of hiring and rejection will be taken, and then the process of offering the letter, okay, the letter of appointment will be given to you. Placement involves the process of assigning selected candidates with the most suitable jobs in terms of the requirement of the job. Okay, whereby the offer letter is being given to you, and finally, you are being asked to join from a particular date in the organization at a particular branch. Now, once placement of yours is done, you have been placed, then the next function is induction and orientation of the employees in the organization. Now, induction and orientation refers to the techniques whereby the new employee who has recently joined the organization is introduced to all the practices which are being followed in the organization, the policies of the organization, the rules, the purpose, and all the people who are working in your organization, who is the management in the organization. All this is being informed to your employees who have been recently hired in the organization. Now, the purpose of induction and orientation also involves acquainting all the employees with the philosophy of the company. What is company's philosophy? What is the objectives which have been set for the organization? What are the opportunities of career planning and development which are available in the organization? What is the market share of the organization? Okay, what is the company history? What is the culture that is being followed in the organization? All this an employee is acquainted with as a part or during the induction function of the HRM or human resource management. Thereafter starts with internal mobility function of human resource management. Now, internal mobility refers to mobilizing the people within the organization in order to balance the manpower at each and every point in the organization. Now, this may call for transfer, this may call for promotion, this may call for separation or even demotion. Transfer refers to horizontal movement of people within the organization, whereby you are being put into some other department or into some other branch at the same position where you were earlier, with the same salary what you had earlier, with the same responsibility which you had earlier. Simply you are being transferred horizontally from one location to another location or from one department to another department. That is called transfer. And then promotion. Promotion refers to whereby a HR manager might be taking the decision of making a vertical movement of the employees within the organization, whereby your designation will be increased, okay, or changed. Then your salary will be increased, okay, that is, there will be raise in pay, and your responsibilities, your tasks will also be increased. That refers to promotion. There could be also demotion, whereby based on your performance, if you're not performing up to the mark or you're not meeting the targets which have been set by the HR manager for you, then what would happen? The HR manager might also decide of demoting you. That is, you will be put at a level lower than what you were earlier at. That is a hierarchy, okay? The level of hierarchy where you were earlier, you would be demoted. You would be put a level lower to it, all right? Whereby your salary will be decreased, okay? And tasks and responsibility may remain the same or may be decreased. All right, that is called demotion. But demotion is leaving an impact on you, okay? Because it results in, you feel insulted, okay? Although when we talk about demotion, it is also a disciplinary practice whereby to correct your ways or whereby to improvise your skills. The HR manager might take the decision of demoting you in the organization. And another internal mobilities component is separation, whereby if again you are not working up to the expectations of the management, then you may be relieved from the organization, or you might have reached the age of superannuation, you might have reached the age of retirement, and due to which your activities with the organizations come to an end, and so you will have to proceed for separation. That is, you will be removed from the payroll of the organization and you will no more be a part of the organization. That is called separation. So, the procurement function of human resource management starts with job analysis and ends with separation of the employees in the organization or internal mobility of the employees in the organization. Having seen procurement function, let us now move on to development function. Now, development function refers to human resource development, whereby what are we doing actually as a HR manager? We are trying to improve, we are trying to mold, and we are trying to change or improvise the skills, knowledge, creative ability, aptitude, attitude, values, and commitment level of each and every person in the organization. That is referring to development. Okay. Now, development includes or starts with performance appraisal. Now, what happens in every organization, in fact, periodically, after 6 months or after 1 year, appraisal of each and every employee is conducted. Now, appraisal refers to evaluation of performance of each and every employee in the organization. Now, during planning phase, what we had seen during human resource planning, we had seen that what are we doing? We are setting a target for each and every person available in the organization working at any functional unit of the organization. So, during performance appraisal, we are checking or we are appraising, we are monitoring that whether the target which was being set for 6 months or for 1 year for every employee working in the organization, have they met their target or not? If they have not been able to meet the target, then what was the reason for deviation? Maybe the person did not have the right kind of skills in order to meet the target. Maybe they did not have the adequate knowledge to meet the target. And in that case, what do you need to do? You need to send your people for training. And in which area do they need to be given training? All this is also part of your human resource manager. Okay, so he decides upon who all have to be given the training in the organization. Then he has to HR manager also has to devise suitable training programs and ensure that the requisite or the needed skills and knowledge is being imparted to the employees in these training programs. That is, it is again the responsibility of HRM or HR manager to evaluate the effectiveness of the training programs which have been set forward for the employees in the organization. Then another function of HR manager under development is executive development or management development. Now, management development refers to overall development of the employees in the organization so that tomorrow they can take executive or managerial positions in the organization. Okay, whereby we are identifying the areas in which management development is needed. We are conducting, as a HR manager, we are conducting the development programs, motivating the executives available in the organization, and thereby evaluating the effectiveness of development program. So another sub function of development is career planning and development. Now, what is career planning and development? It refers to planning of the career and implementation of career plans by means of educating the people in the organization, by means of training the manpower in the organization, by means of ensuring that your manpower is acquiring the required work experiences in the organization. Okay, this all is part of your development function of human resource management. Now, after development function of human resource management, the next function is compensation. Now, what is the meaning of compensation? See, the term compensation refers to ensuring adequate, equitable, and fair remuneration to all the employees in the organization. Okay, so all the people who are available in the organization, depending upon their skills, depending upon their experience, depending upon their qualification, depending upon the job on which we are going to place them, depending upon the task, duties, and responsibilities that they would be performing at a particular position, we have to decide on a rational wage structure for the employees. All right. So, compensation function starts with job evaluation, it moves on to wage and salary administration, deciding on bonus and incentives, the fringe benefits which need to be given to the people in the organization, and the payroll. So, job evaluation, as the term says, it means evaluating the job, which means finding out or identifying the relative worth of the jobs available in the organization. Okay, now there are certain techniques which are available for job evaluation. So, what are we doing? We are using these techniques which are available for job evaluation, whereby we are classifying or dividing all the jobs available into the organization into various categories, and thereafter we are determining the relative value of each and every job in various categories. Categories could be, say, the jobs which fall into grade A category, the jobs which fall into grade B category, the jobs which fall into grade C category. And thereafter, we are deciding that people who are into grade A, what remuneration should be given to them. The people who will be falling into the grade B category of the job, what remuneration has to be given to them. That is called the process of job evaluation, using which we are deciding the remuneration for different grades or for the different categories of jobs in the organization. Then what are we doing? We are also developing and operating a suitable wage and salary program, whereby we are identifying wages and salary rates based on various factors of production. We are also identifying what are the wages and salaries which are being provided by different companies as per the industry norms. And keeping that in mind, we are deciding on giving what wages and what salary should be given by us to our employees falling at different categories. That is called wage and salary administration. Then comes deciding on bonuses, incentives. So, as per Payment of Bonus Act 1965, you have to pay statutory bonus to the employees in the organization, and you also have to give incentives to the people working in your organization. Then, as a part of compensation function of HRM, you also have to decide on fringe benefits which have to be given to the employees. Now, fringe benefits refers to the benefits like disablement benefits. It refers to providing housing facility to your people who are working in your organization, providing educational facilities to both the employees and their children in order to enhance their knowledge, provide canteen facilities within the premises of the organization, provide facilities for conveyance, that is pick and drop services should be provided to the people, to your manpower or to your employees. Then legal clinics should be provided on a monthly basis, on every 6 months or every year. The people working in your organization go for regular health checkups, or then ensuring other facilities like maternity benefits, sickness leave. Okay, all this is part of your fringe benefits which has to be provided by the organization. So that is all which falls into the ambit of compensation function of human resource management. Having seen compensation function, let us now move on to integration function of HRM. Now, integration function talks about human relations, whereby the relations should be maintained between all the humans which are available in the organization. That is between the employees and the employer, or between the union and management. Okay, so it ensures understanding and applying the models of perception, models of personality, models of learning in order to improve interpersonal relationships, in order to improve intra and intergroup relationships in the organization. Now, there have been different models of perception, models of personality, models of learning, which we are aware of, which we have studied during organizational behavior. Like you have theory X and theory Y, you have that was given by McGregor. Then you have some other theories, like you have Maslow's hierarchy theory need. Okay, then there have been so many other theories of learning, right, which we all are well aware of. So what is integration function saying? That in order to ensure in good interpersonal relationship in the workplace, what do HR managers need to do? They need to ensure that there should be an interaction among human beings who are working in the organization. Now, the human HR manager also has to understand that human relations is that area of management in which people has to be integrated into work situations. People have to be motivated so that they produce to the maximum level possible. All right. Now, this can be done only by providing a good working environment, a conducive working environment to all the employees in the organization, by ensuring empowerment, by ensuring giving of delegation of authority to the employees in the organization, by giving a say to the people who are working in the organization. Okay, so that they feel empowered, so that they feel that they are being trusted by the management and by the organization. So all this is responsibility of your HR manager. You have to motivate the employees. You have to ensure that each and every employee in the organization is satisfied working with you. Okay, you have to provide a welfare officer who takes care of grievances of the employees in the organization, redresses them from time to time. You have to provide an environment of negotiation whereby the union leaders can move to the management representatives and put forward their demand. Okay, you also have to ensure that there is a proper mechanism whereby, if in case at any point of time any conflict arises between the workers and the management, then these should be resolved through arbitration. Okay, and participation of employees, which is again very, very important. Okay, in order to make people feel empowered, in order to make people feel that they are worth, okay, that they are being recognized by the organization. And finally, also the disciplinary practices which are being followed in an organization are also part of your integration function of HR management. Okay, whereby if any employee working in the organization breaks the code of conduct, then HR manager has every right to take a disciplinary action against such an employee. And finally, under operative function, we have maintenance function of human resource management. Now, maintenance function ensures health, maintaining health and safety of all the people in the organization, ensuring giving social security measures or benefits to the employees in the organization, in addition to the fringe benefits like providing workmen's compensation to the workers who involve in accidents, like giving dependent benefits, that if a person gets handicapped due to which he cannot work in the organization anymore, then his position can be given to any of his relatives or any of his family members, providing maternity benefit to women employees, right? Or retirement benefits like provident fund, pension, gratuity. All this is part of social security measures or benefits which are provided to people through your human resource management function. Then ensuring different welfare schemes. Okay, now welfare schemes could be both statutory and non-statutory welfare schemes, which we have seen previously, like giving drinking water facility, providing bathrooms and all in the organization, providing medical aid in the medical aid in the organization, right? First aid in the organization, which are part of your welfare schemes. Then maintaining records of each and every personnel available in your organization, doing a personal research, whereby what are you doing? You are checking the information which has been provided by the candidates who have applied in your organization. You are checking whether the information given by them is correct or not by checking through the references. Okay, and finally, personal audit. That is auditing all the people available in the organization. An audit is being conducted for all the people working in the organization from time to time, whereby you what are you checking basically through audit is that after having made the investments into the people working in your organization from the time they were hired till date, how their value has improved, what is their worth at the present moment, how much have they contributed to your organization, okay, after having made so much of investment into them. That is called personal auditing. All right. So all these were the functions, operative functions of HRM. So what we have seen so far in today's lecture is that human resource management functions are classified into two categories: managerial and operative functions. Managerial functions are all the functions which are part of the management process, like planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. And operative functions refers to all the operational functions which a HR manager has to perform, starting with procurement, moving on to development, deciding on their compensation, taking care of integration of all the employees in the organization by providing a conducive environment and harmonious relationship between employees and employers, and finally maintenance of all the employees or the manpower available in the organization. With that, we close the topic of functions of human resource management. Thank you so much for your time.